Hey everyone, Rico Reviews here. It is Monday, otherwise known as Movie Monday. Woo! So today I wanted to review one of my favorite movies and one of the great Melissa McCarthy movies, Tammy. Tammy is such a unique movie. It is so funny. I've watched it so many times just because it's so good. Plotline, according to the back of the box. After losing her job and learning her husband has been unfaithful, Tammy hits the road with her profane, hard-drinking grandmother on the trip of a lifetime. So basically what happens is, in one morning, Tammy gets hit by a deer. She gets fired from her fast food job at Topper Jack's, which is actually one of my favorite scenes to watch because she throws a huge fit saying how awful the food is and how awful the meat is there. And when she goes home, she finds out her husband is cheating on her with a neighbor, and she packs up her stuff and goes to her mom's house, which is 2 doors down, and she packs up again and wants to go on this road trip, and her grandma said she's going with her, but Tammy doesn't want her grandma to go, but when she offers up $6,000, Tammy's all for it. So they head on this road trip to Niagara Falls, and they get into some pretty interesting situations. In order to cheer Tammy up, her grandma lets her rent a jet ski on this lake, and Tammy wrecks it, so they have to pay for it, and it's like about 3/4 of the money gone then. They go to this bar, and they meet this son and his dad, and her grandma ends up hooking up with the dad, and the son and Tammy kind of have a flirtatious thing going on. But it's kind of sad because while her grandma and his dad are hooking up, she has to sleep outside all night. And the next morning they get arrested because her grandma was buying beer for these kids, and they were getting into a fight because Tammy wasn't going to let her grandma buy beer for the kids. And I think when she means to throw a beer can at the kid, but it hits the cop car, and they end up keeping them because Tammy's grandma has these pills in her purse, and she wasn't supposed to, but she has a lot of pills because she has a lot of medical problems. And her grandma bails Tammy out, but her grandma's stuck in jail, so, and like I said, she has lots of health problems, and Tammy's mom called her saying that her grandma forgot all of her diabetes medication. So Tammy was genuinely worried for her grandma, so she robs the Topper Jacks, and it's actually quite funny. She wears this paper bag, and it's minimal bear short, as you can see right here what she's wearing, and she doesn't actually bring a gun, and she makes this paper bag look like she has a real gun, and she goes in, and there's this older guy and this younger girl there, and Tammy demands the exact money, and the cashier's like, "Don't you want all of us?" "No, I want 1,500 or 1,550, round up. And she said, "Do you want to, and give me some of the good apple pies from the back so they're fresh." I'm like, oh my god, this is so funny. And she said, "Do you want apple pies?" I'm not really a pie person. "I'm offering you pies here. I've got a gun, and you don't want pies." And she ends up locking them in the freezer, and she finds out that Earl bailed out her grandma, so her and her grandma end up returning the money to Topper Jack's the next day, and her grandma's cousin Lenore helps him burn the evidence, or burn the jet ski in the car, well, the car first, but helps him get rid of the evidence, and they go to this lesbian 4th of July party at her cousin's house, and Tammy makes herself look nice, like she gets her hair done and everything, and it's quite funny. And that's when they burn the jet ski at this Viking burial. It is so funny. Her cousin is actually played by Kathy Bates, and her partner in the movie is Sandra Oh, and when I first heard about that, I was like, Sandra Oh and Kathy Bates, but they had a great dynamic on there. And I hope that if there's a Tammy 2 or sequel to any kind of type of sequel to the movie, I hope that Kathy Bates and Sandra Oh return because they were just perfect together. But Tammy's grandma ended up saying some hurtful things to Tammy because she was drunk and just got on stage and said pretty awful things to her, and Tammy felt awful, and the grandma's cousin Lenore goes to Tammy and talks some sense into her, saying like, you can't blame your grandma because she's a drunk, and that if Tammy wants changes to happen, she's got to make changes for herself. And then next morning, Tammy goes to make up with her grandma, and she thinks she's dead on the lawn chair, so she goes running inside to Lenore and her partner Suzanne, saying she's dead, and they're like, what, you can't be serious. And Tammy feels guilty about how she talked to her grandma, and all of a sudden you see her grandma getting up from the lawn chair, and they're like, and they're like, what the hell, what the heck? It was so funny. It's probably my ever favorite scene in the movie. And they take her grandma away in an ambulance to help her get treated because she wasn't taking her medication. And then the cops actually come and arrest Tammy for the robbery, even though she returned the money. And she spends about a month in jail, I want to believe. Yeah, about a month in jail. And when she gets out, she learns that they put her grandma in a nursing home, and she starts freaking out. And she's like, you guys better remember that when you're older. I'm putting you guys in a home. And she goes to get her grandma, and she learns that she's actually happy there, and she's going to her AA meetings there. So then she takes her grandma on the road trip to Niagara Falls, and with her, Lenore, and Suzanne, and then they have a good time, and then you see Earl's son come up to meet Tammy, and I thought that was so nice that Tammy actually found someone, and she's actually starting a new life. And then at the end of the movie, we learn actually a cashier that she robbed from Chopper Jacks. You see Tammy at the end hanging out in her hot tub, and Tammy's explaining that she got a new place in this new town, new job, and explaining that she has a new boyfriend. So she's starting over for herself and making a life for herself, so that's really great. If you're a Melissa McCarthy fan, I would definitely recommend this movie. I believe that it's available at most movie retailers. I believe you can also check Netflix too. I hope you enjoyed this review on Tammy. I hope you can add Tammy to your movie collection. Until next time, stay regal.